Cheers. Enjoy the beers. Yeah, I really don't like that new countdown music. I'm going to have to get that sorted. Maybe have to re-record, maybe speak to Henry420, see if he's got some music for me. But yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome back once again with me, a disco, in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I'm lightly calling the Disco Arms still. And it's another show, a little Tuesday Tipple. Once again, really enjoyed last night's show. Had some good, interesting beers. I think I went a little bit light yesterday, and I'm going light again, as with the theme for today's Tuesday Tipple is London Lite. Got 3 beers, all under 5% from 3 London breweries. 2 probably fairly well known, certainly 1 very well known, and 2 probably slightly less well known, but interesting beers, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail. Mr. Wilson, as always, my able assistant in the comments, pretty much. Thanks for popping in. Hope you've had a good day. I hope you've all had a good day, and the week is progressing well, even though it's only Tuesday. I hope anybody watching has got a beer on. Do let me know what you've got in the glass, if you've got one in the glass. Talking of which, I'm going to go straight on to beer number 1, please. Beer number 1 is a strange one, but fits well in the category of London Lite, being that it is 2.6% beer. It is indeed a small beer from a small beer company. It's called HAzy, and it's 2.6%. Well, I've put their HAzy Pale Ale, but nowhere on the can do they actually say whether it's what it is. I mean, it's a hazy IPA or a pale ale. You can argue amongst yourselves about the descriptions on that. So they just don't really bother with the descriptions. Let's get it in the glass. The dinky little small beer glasses, which I like. I've been favouring for drinking 330s from. It is indeed a 330 can. Don't know if that's disappointing or not for a 2.6% beer, but there you go. We'll see what we get. What we get initially is a very, very light, very translucent, lemon squash coloured palish ale there. Not washed that glass very well. A little bit of on the side, but you can just about see through the opaqueness there. Lots of carbonation racing up the glass. Nice little head development there amongst all the haze. You see the carbonation racing up as always, Mr. Wilson. Thank you very much indeed. I'll do the photograph from this one. I've got to be honest, and I'll tell you for why in a moment. I don't have high hopes, but having got the beers in, I'm duty bound to try them. Finding a phone app would work. It appears to be dissipating fairly quickly. And that big amount of white on the can is rebounding off the light, making it reasonably hard to focus. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, he's at least in focus. There you go. All good. So 2.6%, huh? What am I doing drinking a 2.6% beer? Let's see what you guys have got first of all. Mr. Wilson is on another pipeline, Motueka Deluxe, an OK IPA, Motueka being one of the hops I can tolerate. Shark, good evening. Thanks for popping in all the way from the US of A. 330 is a common there. I thought you was on 375s, or is that like our 440s to our 500s? So many numbers. Mr. B, Rob, thanks for popping in. Hope all is good. You're having a good week. You got something tasty in the glass, as always. Rest of us, let us know what you've got. Yeah, what am I doing? Drinking a 2.6% beer. Well, mostly because it fits in with the theme of London Lite. Small beer brewer over in South London. I picked these beers up a while back. You may or may not remember. I did them on a live show. Let's have a little look first. Let's have a little slurp, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. Well, for a small beer, there's some good hop note in there. Getting pineapple first of all, which bodes fairly well. Suspect there'll be a little bit of grapefruit further down, but just on the aroma, I mean, let's face it is pineapple squash rather than, out and out pineapple cubes or fresh pineapple, but it smells of fresh kind of squash. It's fresh juice. As always, like I say, when I say juice, it's like Robinson's barley water if they do a pineapple one. I'm not sure. I do quite a nice apple and pear one, but that's beside the point. And I do like their peach one and the mango one. Never seen pineapple. Anyway, let's have a little slurp. It won't last very long, to be fair. It does look proper fruity, juicy for that light lemony colour. Head is fair dissipated now amongst all that carbonation. But anyway, cheers and enjoy the beers. Well, I tell you what, fair dues. It's school night, so alcohol-free cider. Yeah, it's technically, I suppose, a school night for me. I do have to go into work tomorrow. So I think the other week I kind of went a bit heavy with stuff over 5 on a Tuesday night and felt it on a Wednesday. So I've gone a little bit light today, kept it under 5s. Should be right. I haven't got to go up too early, I don't think. Don't actually know what I'm doing in work tomorrow. We'll find out when we get there. It's all part of the fun of it. But I tell you what, fair dues for a 2.6%er. That's not bad. It is. Yeah, the grapefruit's coming through much more now. But it's much closer to a can of Lilt. I mean, I would personally prefer to probably just drink a can of Lilt, even if you chuck a shot in it or something. But as light beers go, if you want a light beer that's got some proper juicy notes, I suspect there's a fair bit of Citra in it, mind. I sort of, yeah. Apple juice would be cheaper. Well, we got through quite a lot of apple juice at the weekend. Warm it up and a slug of rum. As good as any cider I want. Oh yeah, we put some mulling spices and stuff in it as well, but there you go. Yeah. Also, a can of Lilt would probably be cheaper than this. I think they're £2.5, £3, something like that. It actually is apple juice. Can't bother to go through the expense of fermenting it. Just get the regular stuff. Fair play. Does the job, doesn't it? Does the job. Yeah, going much more grapefruit now. But what there isn't, and a couple of the other small beer ones I had that kind of edge of slight, like I say, orange, like squash, but kind of slightly weakened, overwatered spring water nonetheless. But this one doesn't have that. This one has definitely got that kind of chunkier body going towards the IPA, kind of hazy IPA body, 2.6%, probably an IPA, blah, blah, blah. It's quite well hopped, so it is. A session IPA is a nice strength IPAs. It's got that hop note for an IPA, but they don't bother to say IPA or pale ale anywhere on the tin or on the website. We'll have a look on that in a moment. Oh, hello. I did have some Mackey's ice cream earlier with a shot of coffee rum poured over. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Fair play. Sounds good to me. There's a few beers like that as well. I'm going back to it. A little too much grapefruit for me, but for a lower alcohol beer, for a school night, perfectly decent. And for your hopheads, would probably kind of enjoy that lower percentage. Yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers, but the reason I went to this one again, the power of marketing, the power of YouTube. A few weeks back, I was going to do a video of it, of the unboxing and the thing. It didn't work out too well, so I did it on a live. I don't know if you remember this one from a few weeks back. called Matt Gray made me do it. So, cheers and enjoy the beers.
Hops and yeast.
Great.
At various times in various combinations.
And what kind of beer are we making?
Today we'll be making a Kolsch.
A Kolsch?
Which is a German-style ale designed to replicate a lager.
Cool. So I like beer. I like different types of beer, and I generally prefer like the IPA kind of stuff to the lagery kind of stuff, and then you get the stouty kind of things. Now these are all beer,
yes,
which all have vaguely the same basic ingredients.
Yes.
How do you make them all different?
So if you're talking the difference between a stout and a lager, obviously a stout is much darker, and it's made darker by the use of much darker roasted malts. So, before the barley gets to here, and where I can use it, it goes through a process called malting,
right?
Which basically you take a barley seed and you trick it to think it's going to grow up to be a big, strong barley plant, and then you kill it, and then you roast it, and the length of time at which you roast it determines how dark that malt is,
right? And
the darker the malt is, the darker the beer will be, and so that makes then a stout if you're using lots of darker roasted malts.
Yeah.
And then say the difference between.
Don't think we're learning too much on that one, so I'm
I'm back to taste what I did.
Oh, easy.
Oh, it smells like a beer cellar. That is so sweet. And you can watch me making it on YouTube, of course. The proof is in the tasting. Oh, wow, that is so refreshing. Oh, that's really good.
So it's very floral and estery, infinitely crushable and perfectly crisp. The perfect middle ground between an ale and a lager.
And this is on sale in can on the Small Beer website. You can try the beer that I got in the way of making.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I did it. There's a YouTuber called Matt Gray over on another part of YouTube, just lots of really interesting stuff. And I use the hashtag "these things amuse me." Well, the fact that he went to brew a beer at a brewery I'd heard of, and listening to it, I understood a lot of it suddenly now, more so than previously. The link to that live stream is back there. You can always watch it afterwards. And that also gives you links to Matt Gray's videos as well. So yeah, just his enthusiasm for the product. In terms of that Kolsch, I don't think it's giving away anything to say I was less than enthusiastic about it. I'm more enthusiastic about this, oddly, despite that kind of grapefruity note. So obviously they came in early autumn, best before in August 2025. And yeah, think big, drink small. Brewed sustainably in South London, small beer HAzy pours sunshine yellow. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's 6 months old, but anyway, not quite sure about the sunshine on that. What do you reckon? Bursting with big tropical aromas and ripe stone fruit. Okay. And mid-strength beers are designed to meet the demands of modern life. Once again, I haven't looked at the hop profile on it. And it doesn't actually say. No, it just says oats, hops, and yeast. Oh, well, I was hoping it would actually, but there you go. Yeah, so for a 2.6% beer for a school night, it's reasonably smashable because it's got that juicy element to it. Like I say, it's quite a light pale ale, but the oats in there working hard to give it a fairly smooth, creamy-ish body. It's like sucking on a grapefruit a little bit. Well, James, thank you very much indeed. Well, calm down after your cup exploits. I was remarkably calm at that point anyway. We've got to do it all again on Saturday. I don't think I'm doing a stream or anything like that for it because it's Saturday early evening. I might do a few beers. I've got to work out what I'm doing on Saturday, whether I'm at work or not. But yeah, all the excitement goes around again on Saturday for the football. It's nice to have a little bit of excitement for your team now and again, isn't it? Especially as an Argyle fan. It's not a lot. Well, it's never dull being an Argyle fan, but there you go. Cheers for that, Mark. Let's have a quick look. There's a small beer website. Yeah, they got a range of these 2.4, 2.5, 2.6% beers. Nothing overly exciting, to be fair, apart from the fact that, you know, this one says hazy, so it is kind of got that hop content to be an IPA at 2.6% when they've got a pale on as well. But they also have got IPA, so I'm not quite sure where hazy sits in there, really. I have got that IPA in there. I don't think I'll be using that for Up the Green stream because it's too light, but I didn't have the amber. They haven't got that Kolsch on their website anymore. Must have kind of sold out, and they didn't actually like promote it that much with Matt Gray, despite, you know, he's got 80,000 followers on YouTube. But apart from Matt Gray's videos, they didn't massively promote it. This is the beer that Matt Gray got in the way of or drunk. But yeah, I got a selection box anyway, plus the Kolsch's, and I don't think I haven't enjoyed them enough. This one's all right, but not entirely my thing. So I was looking at what they say. Right, so what do they say anymore about the hazy? No, mid strength. Oh, here we go. No, so they don't really tell you the hop lineup either. See, ripe aromas of freshly picked apricot is what they say there, and tropical fruit salad jumping from the glass, brewed in South London. See, but yeah, so nothing much more information-wise there. Again, just want to know the hops. I want to know whether, if I'm enjoying it, I want to know that I'm enjoying Citra, or what else is on there. No, I'm not going to say it this time of night anyway, so let's not go there. Send them a message and see if they reply. That looks spot on. Yeah, it is. I'm at 2.6%. It's one of the probably better. They call it mid-range. I'm saying because I'm doing all under 5% tonight. If you like your hoppier, grapefruity kind of citra-based stuff and want something light earlier on in the week or any time, really, to be fair, it's probably okay. It's not entirely my thing. It's definitely something I would shandy just to make it even lighter, but just to bring that citrus away from the grapefruit back up to the lemon, with a bit of lemonade. You know, you could have a pint of that. 2 cans top up with lemonade. It'll be perfectly. It definitely is juicy and refreshing and perfectly drinkable. I would just want to take it away from grapefruit, to be fair. But yeah, I say juicy enough to be smashable. You know, I've only got a little can of it. I think there's another one in there, so I'll try that again. Ken will make nice table bits. So I've heard, although I've heard Colonel make nice beers generally, and I've never quite got around to. They've never been interesting enough, mainly because of their bland labelling, which I love, but doesn't quite fit in with the way I drink. I've had a couple of Colonel beers. The last Colonel beer I had was a citrus stout, so I didn't enjoy it at all, but not to say Colonel aren't great. Table beers just don't really fit with the way I drink. I'd rather just have one proper strength beer and several table beers. But yeah, fair play. Colonel is definitely an option. Right, so moving swiftly on from that. Actually, it was, like I say, it was better than I thought it was going to be. So I'm not displeased with that, to be fair. But moving swiftly on to beer number 2, please. And beer number 2, we are moving across the other side of London, up to north. And hopefully this will be some pretty decent beer, because it is from Pretty Decent Beer Co. Who are over in that kind of ever-expanding beer mile of Hackney Walthamstow area. So, of course, I put it in the London beer glass of my favourite shape. This one is Hall & Oates and Hall & Oates. Oh, I've spelt that wrongly there. It is Hall & Oates with an E, as in, I imagine, Hall & Oates, the musical act. Am I showing my age there? Am I mentioning Hall & Oates? Anybody remember them? Don't know their songs particularly, and I can't go and Google and play them, really. I mean, I could. A lot of people do. I'm not monetized, so it's not going to be a problem, but just can't be asked with the hassle, really. This is fairly fresh. I only picked it up a couple of weeks ago on an order from Ghost Whale, because I wanted a couple of their disco beers, Chipmunk Disco. So that's in the stash for the next disco day. And they do quite a lot, or it seems quite a lot, of oat pale ales. I'm not sure if this is described as an oat pale ale. It says this is a double dry hopped pale ale, which is going, for me, above and beyond what I require, what I like on a can wrap, where they tell you all the information that I want, although they have messed it up slightly, but having the brewery logo there on the side, that doesn't help for photography for people like me, but can't have everything. It's good they put the rest of the information on there. Works for me. And usually some a pretty good artwork, even though if it is kind of slightly cartoonish. No problem with that. For me, where's the logo? That Fuller's logo is looking a bit worse for where I need another one of these glasses. Nip over Fuller's shop at some point. Yeah, so London beer in a London glass. It does look proper juicy, chewy, kind of fruity yellow in that glass there. Let's see how it comes out. Yeah, a little bit too much light on there. Big frothy head going on. Oh dear. Definitely need to get some kind of above light. I won't do ring lights because I think they're even worse for photography. Yep. It's a thing anyway. I just nudge that. Yes, I have. I'm showing a terrible rest of the room. I managed that. Anyway, yeah, looking pretty good in the glass. Usually bulk at things like double dry hopped IPAs. It's the double dry hopping. Depends on the hop, of course. So we were having a good chat about that yesterday. Good tap room. And a couple of beers I've had, again, the main one was a brown ale for Disco Day 5, I think it was. Had loads of notes of raisins, brown sugar, a bit of rum and stuff like that. Evening, Steve. Thanks for popping in. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, not too bad. Only the second day of the week. It's dragging slightly, but yeah, lots of things are done today. And Sammy popping in as well. Thanks very much indeed, Sammy. Hope you're whatever time zone you're in at the moment, work-wise or whatever. If you're having a beer, let us know what we're having if you are. Yeah, so nice and juicy. Head has dissipated, which is always slightly disappointing. That beer yesterday, the that Tooth and Claw, where it had that nice 5 centimeter head pretty much all the way down. Again, it wasn't my favourite on the beer, but it did kind of make it easier drinking. That's dissipated, but there's a little bit of lysine developing already anyway. Let's see what I can sniff. That's funny, that. It tastes almost exactly like that one, but stronger. So I think not quite. It tastes, it smells like that one, but stronger, but with slightly less kind of pineapple. There's much more pineapple on that nose on the first one. Anyway, let's just see how we get on with the hops in this one, shall we? I say I think there's probably a bountiful amount of oats in there that should smooth it out a little bit. Cheers. Wow. That's funny. That is hilarious in that those two beers are almost identical in initial flavour. It's got that grapefruit up front with a touch of pineapple, not quite as sticky sweet as like pineapple cubes. But yeah, the pineapple is kind of slightly overed by the grapefruit. It's not as smooth as I was hoping, but then at 4.7, maybe it's not going to be. It's juicy. It's got that big juicy note, sort of again going towards kind of Robinson's barley water kind of squash, because it's got a bit of bulk to the body on the juice. No water in this. 4.7. It's almost less dry hopping, less dry hop notes than the previous one, than the small beer, which is kind of weird. Like I say, picked this up only last week, so it should be fairly fresh. Yep, best before September 2025. Sorry, Shark, that's 2 well-in-date beers already. Hall & Oates and... Well, actually, not sure what the name of this beer is, because it says Hall & Oates and Hall & Oates there, and then they just gone nuts with the Hall & Oates. Count them: Hall & Oates and 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 Hall & Oates. I think that's 10, isn't it? Tasting notes may contain traces of Hall, but at least they do say the hops. Wow, that's interesting. Right, yeah, sorry, hops: Mosaic, Motueka, and Nelson Sauvin. Well, there we go. I'd have a beer very much like that, to be fair. What? Yeah. For Nelson and Motueka, I know what I want them to come out like, and the Mosaic in there has kind of taken it much more towards grapefruit, taken away the tropicality, but there is a fair amount of juiciness to it. It's another one I'd have to shandy just to get that citrus away from grapefruit and back over to kind of lemon or lime. Again, absolutely not a bad beer. That's just my palate. That's just how my palate receives those hops in this beer. I find grapefruit kind of drying and a bit kind of therefore not that exciting, because I want more kind of mango, pineapple, tropical. I said this yesterday, and I do sometimes tire. Let me know. Stop me if I'm getting boring about grapefruit and citra and blah blah blah. No citrus, obviously, but yeah, that Mosaic in there, I think, is just rounded off that tropicality and take it back towards grapefruit. So much so, it is very, very similar to this, but noticeably stronger. Yeah, so not bad, not terrible. There's a fair bit of lacing on there. I also wonder, 4.7, not bad. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it looks all right. Again, quite light. Again, for some tropicality, it's kind of light. It looks much lighter in the light there. Obviously, much darker from behind the camera here. bit duller, but it's okay. It's interesting. I can drink it. I can get past that grapefruit, but it still sort of lingers there, and that kind of drying note in the background. I don't get. I did have fish filling. I can still taste a bit of fish. I don't think that's a good thing for beers, particularly. I don't know how much that will affect the palate, but it was a good bit of salmon, and for the citrus note on these beers, it kind of works together. So that's not so bad. But yeah, pretty decent. They kind of undersell themselves with that name. Is it pretty decent? Yes, it is. Could be decenter, more decent for me anyway. But you hopheads that like pale ale, that would sit fairly well. As Dave Wilson says, go over to their tap room, try it on tap. Sat out in the sunshine, it'd be a perfectly decent double dry hopped beer. Bit of gassy, so I burp in salmon. And that was possibly a mistake to be eating salmon before, like, what's the name? Poached salmon. Well, salmon rather. Before doing the beers, because I've still got a bit in the background. I don't know if that's affecting the palate or not. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, E17. Yeah, so over that way in London, they're kind of overblessed with competitors. Are pretty decent. What's it saying? It says on the t-shirt. Too much Hall and Oates makes your eyes go fuzzy. That's what it says on the t-shirt of the Canary. I don't know. Could have used that in yesterday's yellow, except I didn't get it from the supermarket, or last week's yellow, but I didn't have it in last week. I don't know why I'm thinking of Busby from the BT adverts, showing me age again now, aren't I? Yeah, so yeah, it's all right. It's going back to it's just grapefruit again becomes a little bit cloying after a bit. Definitely need some lemonade in that. But there you go. I always like to do a little bit of news. Not that this is current news, because probably everybody heard of this. But talking about that side of London, up in the northeast corner there, I saw this the other day. Not good news. Beerable fish. Also out that way in a Black Horse Lane, which I think are kind of just around the corner from, I know Mr. Wilson will correct me if I'm wrong on that, Black Horse Lane area of Walthamstow, where there's a lot of breweries collecting together. And again, not too far from Wildcard, who went last year. But yeah, Beerable Fish announced closing on the 9th of March. So it gives you a week and a bit to get up there and check them out. Not massively well known, perhaps, I think. I've seen them out and about in festivals, mostly London festivals, but I've never got around to going over to their tap room or going to their website and getting any of their beers, if indeed they do cans or whatever. Haven't really said why, but I think we all know decision has been really hard for us. We made some amazing beers, won lots of awards, and made lifelong friends, but we're ready to focus on some other priorities in our lives now. I guess, not worrying about money and costs and stuff like that, I guess. But generally well thought of it over in that area. I've got a few. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it. Beer launch. So they're launching a beer 8 days before they give up, which is kind of weird. A Solidarity Pale, which supports local charities in Ukraine, meets the public. Come sip in solidarity. Fair play. It's a good one to go out on. Sip and knit. Leaving Drinks mini beer festival. Basically, just drink us dry. There'll be many casks. I believe they do kind of like sort of slightly traditional, trying to bring back kind of traditional beer styles, stuff like that. So yeah, another one over in that London area to go. Greetings from Tallinn. Good evening, Blue Nose. Should be smashing out some big beers over there, I should imagine. Talking of which, GBC. Pialo in Tallinn. Awesome. Pialo is not one I go to very often, although I did have a disco beer last year. That was nice. No, Sammy, you know, grapefruit is not my friend. It is my nemesis, nay, my deadly enemy. And I'm going to have to go and stand over here and calm down just a second with that statement. And also clear my nose so I can fucking breathe and smell the next beer. Tallinn boys. There's a joke there. Tallinn it like it is. There you go. That's the one for us. Yeah, man. Hope you have many good beers there. Beerball Fish, another one to go down the pan by the sound of it, but a week and a bit to go. Check out their beers. I'm going to go have a look on the website, see if there's anything that interests. Literally watching the stream from Piala. Oh, superb. Send my greetings to Piala, man. Some good beers. Let us know what you want. Other news I was going to talk about, which is sort of, again, not entirely news, but, again, not making massive waves on that news, but, where's it gone? No. I've lost it. There we go. Other brewery news. Again, this one might be vaguely reminiscent to Blue Nose. You might have already heard this. A brewery that I featured quite recently, just at Christmas. Got some news coming out of Berkshire. It's a brewery I featured called Ridgeway Brewing. The other side of Reading, announced they've been acquired by Crafty Brewing. Now, this is interesting to me because I've always been a massive fan of Ridgeway Brewery right from very back in the day, for reasons that probably only Harry is aware of in this stream, or Adam if he gets it. But yeah, kind of really not kind of one of those regional breweries that is very, very old school, a bit traditional, and doesn't quite get out that much as it should. But oddly, doesn't do a lot of like kind of social media presence, so not many people hear them. But obviously, has a massive export kind of thing. Hence why on Shark Stream the other day we did the Ridgeway Christmas beers. Last year, obviously now. So it's one I keep an eye on quite a lot, but don't always get to try because it's quite hard to get hold of their beers. Occasionally, you'll get some Beers of Europe or Trembling Madness. And that's what I did before Christmas. But yeah, Mouse have been acquired by Crafty Brewing. Hardly necessarily an original name for a brewery, but another brewery I've barely heard of, but have looked at before and completely forgotten about. But I guess doing well in their little sector, in their little area, and they've immediately put Ridgeway Brewing mix boxes, not individuals, on the website. So hopefully that means they'll just be taking over the export thing. I think there's a little bit of work going on. The guy on the right is the original owner and brewer at Ridgeway, so I guess he'll still do that kind of export thing and stuff like that. Let's go. Good evening to you, sir. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're good for a Tuesday night. I'm cracking through with a few a few small beers, to be fair. Yeah, so like, yeah, not many people have heard of Ridgeway, obviously, mostly in America. So it's one I looked at a while back and then completely forgotten about crafty brewing. So I'm not going to pretend this is a first, but I'm going to look at their website because this is something that amuses me. These things amuse me, and you might be able to help me on because I'm going to blatantly cheat. So there's the web shop, and they're based over in Surrey, kind of down near Mr. Wilson. So I imagine you know. I think we mentioned it the other day, didn't we? So you know a bit about them. What have they got? Right. So yeah. So there's the Ridgeway Brewer mix case already gone on there, but it's a 12-pack. And although it is a good mixed case, there is some good stuff in there. Traditional IPA and a bitter, and even the Oxford Blue is perfectly decent. Ridgeway ESB is a good one. I haven't had for a long time. Hampshire Doom, I think I had one before Christmas, but didn't review it. I'm sure I have at some point. The Foreign Export Stout and the Imperial Russian Export Stout, but that Bad King John, the Black Ale, was superb. I used to pick that up in bottles out of Sainsbury's. Not seen it for a long time. Only seeing garden centres these days, not seen in pub for ages. There you go. I'm gonna. But the thing that caught my interest looking at this website last year, and then again the other day when I heard about them, let's quickly look at the core range beers. That Solar Storm Hazy Pale Ale, kind of interesting to me. To be fair, as I say, I don't normally look at the hops, but that Solero and Allura dry hopped. No idea about those two, but it does sound summery. Maybe it's just a Solero kind of mango kind of thing going on. Allura, I don't know anything. Smooth with notes of passion fruit. Again, would rather mango than passion fruit, but I would try that one. And they're on sale. You know, I love a good sale beer. As opposed to this one, Nectron and Citra, they actually put them on the front of the cans, which looks good. Yeah, I'd probably swerve that one, being Citra heavy. Like the idea of a porter, though. Any porter's probably going to be good. Yeah, roasty flavours of chocolate, vibrant notes of dark fruit. That's all you need, really. But anyway, yeah, the thing that mainly caught my eye on this one, I was going to try and work out is personalised beer cans. Now, I'm not quite sure how they managed this. Obviously, got some kind of design thing going on. It requires a 6 or 12 pack of beer. Here's one for you there, Steve. Steve's 55th birthday. A couple of years' time for you, but if you're still looking. Yeah, so you can put your own slant on the cans. Now, of course, what I immediately went into was, yeah, I'm going to design my own can. So the easiest way to get beers for the disco collection is completely fake it. So, of course, my beer is going to be called, if I can type, Crafty Disco. All other suggestions welcome, of course, but it's an easy way of getting a beer into the disco collection. I mean, it's only going to be their regular IPA or whatever, but it's a good way of trying it, right? Can we go one further? Oh, you can change the fonts. You can change the colours. Oh, you can change the pattern. Oh, yeah, got to get a bit of green hearts, right? Green wood. Nice. Not doing it for Christmas. I like the reeds. Birthdays. No, I'm going with a green heart, I think. Oh, excuse me. I can still taste that salmon. Yeah, Crafty Disco. What else can we do? 6-pack, 18.50. Getting currently on discount. Oh, you can add images. A contract in or contract out? I don't. That's what the other way. No, I don't think they do. Ridgeway or Crafty? I don't think Ridgeway do. I don't think. I think they're very kind of their own. To be fair, if they brew a style and label it across all their brands. Oh yeah, no, it does look like Crafty kind of do that maybe a little bit. That's why they can do this kind of personalization. What have I got? Where was it? Oh, there it is. No, I think they just do their own beers. I can't imagine they. No, they don't contract out. They have actually got their own brewery. They've been going for like 30 odd years, I believe. We have a logo. Oh, I'll have to change that logo. There we go. Look, who wouldn't buy that kind of bit? Who wouldn't buy that bit? Crafty Disco. Click here, add a longer personal message. Okay, a longer personal message. There we go. Who wouldn't buy that beer? Huh? It's a fantastic beer. Fantastic beer name. You would buy the label. Good man yourself. Well, now they've got the Ridgeway exporting thing. Maybe they can export it. Maybe you can do it overseas. The article says 100,000 litres a week. It did indeed, didn't it? Yeah. Wow. I missed that bit. Good spot, David. The combined business can produce 100,000 litres a week. Whether that's 50,000 each, 50,000 Ridgeway, 50,000 Crafty, or even so. I wonder what the split on that is. They do seem to be of a similar kind of size because they have the similar sort of core beer thing going on, albeit Ridgeway steadfastly in bottles. Ridgeway have never gone on to that kind of craft side or look to getting into cans, whereas Crafty seem to. Export supermarkets, pubs, restaurants, the British Army. So there's obviously some kind of contract deals going on there. Well, yeah, that is a big. I mean, I wonder what that export of Ridgeway is. Whether that's how much of that 100,000 that is. What? Yeah, that's a good shout. I'd have to go. Obviously, I'm not going to order it straight from there. I'd have to go back onto the Canva and get the circle off of Canva because I haven't got a download of that. It's only in there. And then I just quite like the thing because it's in the start of the video. So yeah, I have to get that circular. That would look better. In fact, that would look better over there maybe. No, I'll put a personal message over there. Well, there you go. That's kind of, yeah, I'm going to play about with that image. And then what else I noticed? I've done that right. Because yesterday we were talking about cider and I've not bought that cider yet. But you can personalize a cider can, so that's easy. Crafty Disco apples. So that's what I'm calling it. What colour do we think for the cider? Let me know. Let's have a look at the colour palette. Probably should use green for the cider. Red? Maybe. Red apples? Oh no. That's quite nice. I quite like the red actually. I think you can change the font as well. We change the font size. Well, there we go. Yeah, red apples. Probably aren't any red apples in the cider, but use pink so that your current image will fit. Or the pink and lilac one. Yeah, there we go. No, that's my job. Out of date. Well, there we go. These things amuse me. So I'll go and have a look at that. I didn't think I'd get it finished and finalised just by banging some images up, but I'll go and have a look at that. I've got far too many beers on order. I've got some beers arriving on Friday. Some Japanese beers based on some adverts I saw on Instagram the other day. And I'm waiting for, if Adam pops in, I'm waiting for him to pop in with it. Here, Disco, have you seen this one? Because I found another Disco beer. See if you guys can work it out. Do let me know. I haven't put that on order yet. I've got a couple of other beers on there to work out. So that may be on Friday, and I'll be reviewing some of those off of that order if I get in next week, because it fits in with a nice little theme for next week. This is dragging now, this one. It's not a bad beer. It's pretty decent, but yeah, it's kind of ending in a big deluge of grapefruit. It's cloying, drying, a bit earthy, not particularly spiky. All the pineapple and the other tropical fruits have faded away a little bit. It's yeah. My mission for the weekend is to find Pati, on tap. Cans are fairly easy to come by. There is a bound to be somewhere local with it still on. And all the best to you. I'm marked safe and putty free. I've got too much other stuff to buy and drink, to be fair. Let's have a quick look at Pretty Decent. I didn't get them direct from Pretty Decent. I got this one from Ghost Whale on an order again because of there was some other stuff. I could have got the Chipmunk Disco direct, but there was a couple of other things I wanted to pick up as well. There's a couple of new beers on the website. There was very light on the Pretty Decent website when I looked and compared to Ghost Whale. Grey's not really your colour. Talking about colour palettes. Blackberry, blueberry, and pink guava sour, I would not have put in a grey can. Really. Live Fast, Fly Young. I was briefly tempted by that True Love's Kiss, the blueberry, strawberry, and raspberry sour, but I don't really need any more sours. There's the Chipmunk Disco, a double IPA, 8%. Look at me. I just hope it's good hops. And I did want to go for that. I could get better at Tesco for £1, so named after particularly bad and probably inappropriate and entirely incorrect review of one of their beers. You can get beers in Tesco's at £1, including Bass, I think, which would probably be all right. But and I missed out on Milk Stout. They do good T-shirts of that. Employee of the Month. Yeah, so nothing new there, but some pretty decent beers. They all sound pretty good, to be fair. B&Q could be good place to start. For finding party. Yeah, there you go. Right, I'm going to try and force my way through this last little bit. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's good beer. I say it's pretty decent, but just that grapefruit water for me is kind of cloying. Anyway, cheers. Still a good aroma on it. Pineapple and kind of lilty and kind of grapefruit-esque. Oh, I've had better from Motueka and Nelson, put it that way. Right, let's move back on. Let's move further across North London in the Walthamstow area for beer number 3, please. Beer number 3, I'm on much safer ground, moving as I am on to Pressure Drop, although they do some pretty hoppy stuff as well. But this is basic, no nonsense. Oh, did I just change that, or did I not have that going across for the stat for the drive? Did I click the wrong one? I can't remember. Anyway, right, yeah, Pressure Drop Spinneret, 4.6% stout. Again, I should think fairly basic and kind of standard. No adjuncts or nothing like that. Pours out kind of thin brown Coca-Cola-ish. Nice head development. Slightly oily. It's looking a bit thicker as it gets in. With nice head development on a kind of tan coloured head. Lovely artwork on this one if you like butterflies. I mean, different, but they do look good. No real idea what spinneret means. Photo reminder. I can't remember. I'm going to have to go back and look at that, whether I messed up that banner or not. Never mind. Nobody's watching. All right, close the laptop for a bit of a light bleed. Spinneret only just goes round the can in view. That looks good in the glass now with a decent settle on their head. And you could hold the bloody camera steady. Shaky, shaky. Close enough. Yeah, that's made it. Yeah, again, this one has not been sitting in my stash too long. Picked it up on a bit of a whim, really, for no apparent reason. Over Christmas, I was in a pub in Kensington. I wandered down to look at the Kensington Arms. I say wandered down, I drove down. So I found a pub around the corner and stopped for a swift half, and it was a really nice pub with some good beer lists, quite a lot of Pressure Drop and other London beers on. I'm going to go and have a look at the map in a minute and find out. Because I can't remember the name of the place. It was just around the corner from the Churchill Arms. It didn't have a massive can selection. But I just picked this one up because I thought it looked nice. So it is. Show my Google Map skills, such as they are. Anyway, there we go, just off of there. Where's the Churchill Arms? It's off of top end of Notting Hill Gate. Come down there. There's Churchill Arms there. We went to the corner, around the corner, that pub there, the Malt Tavern, Notting Hill is where I picked this up from. Yeah, there it is, nice little corner pub. Quite small, but I wasn't massively busy on a weekday night over Christmas, as opposed to the church alarms that was absolutely mental, with all the Richards and Sophies milling around outside. Looking at that, anyone been to the church alarms in Kensington? Obviously over Christmas, none of those flowers are there, and it's all much decorated in lights, etc. I should have got the photo up, to be fair, but it's all lovely and it's all good fun. But further down this way, here we go, around the corner. I could just drag him, couldn't I? Get out of it. Down there, down there. And there is the Malt Tavern. Independent, I think. There's no brewery signs on it. The Mall Tavern, not the Malt Tavern, the Mall Tavern. Yeah, looks quite posh being in Kensington, but perfectly decent. Some good beer lineup. Like I say, a lot of Pressure Drop and other London breweries, and reasonably priced. And I believe this can was approximately £5. I'm not going to go and look at Pressure Drop and see if I got mugged off on there, because I'm quite happy with it. Let's see what we get from a perfectly decent, I believe, 4.7% stout. Oh, I tell you what I get, and I've used this term before, there's a big old, it smells a bit like that pub. Oh, you imagine that pub would be if it had an old brown leather sofa in the corner back in the days of cigar smoke and pipes. Yeah, there's a big kind of smoky, waxy kind of cigar smoke note to that kind of roasty malt on there. Which for me, much as I'm not a big fan of stale smoked cigar or cigarette, I kind of like that kind of waxy, leathery sofa kind of aroma, and in some beers, taste. Much safer ground with this one. Cheers. Oh wow. There's yeah, big cigar, tobacco-y kind of smokiness, leatheriness, waxiness. Very, very roasty. Kind of very high-end, bittery, dark chocolate. I'm not a big fan of dark, bitter chocolate, but it sits nice in that. There's a little bit of kind of. There was beer I had the other week. What was it? It had that kind of big. Yeah, that big, leathery, voluminous kind of smokiness. It's a little bit of that in that Christmas pudding. Wow. For 4.7%, some big flavours, aromas in that. It's nice. It is a touch. I say some of the other beers I've had with that flavour, and again, maybe it's working against that fish. I'm not sure. What was that one? Oh, there was one of those. What was it? It wasn't London Black. It was. Was it that? It was one of those nitro stouts. I think it was that one, the left-hand one. I said that big kind of leathery cigar flavour. It's superb. It wouldn't suit everybody. Not everybody's palate kind of likes that. No, it's kind of. It's not enough flavour. It's just that big, much roasty malt note going on. That is nice. There's a kind of slight burnt coffee, burnt toast, kind of not quite raisin toast. There's no raisins or anything like that. None of that kind of brown sugariness. But perfectly well balanced. The aroma is nicely balanced. That's a big old stout, that, for 4.7%. The Party Dipper on Friday night. Yes, I see that. Rob there and Simo doing a Friday night return to YouTube. I'll look in if I am around. Oh, I've survived the mystery beers. Interesting. So you both sent each other a mystery beer, is that it? That should be good. No beers with Galaxy. Yeah. Yeah, look forward to popping into that if I get a chance on Friday night. Don't know what I'm doing Friday. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah, like bloody Friday. Yeah, Pressure Drop. Well thought after beer brewery over in the Walthamstow end of London. Again, do pretty good on. Ooh, that's a bit naughty. Shark, don't worry. Normality is returned. You will be pleased to note by 5 days. The best before this beer is the 20th of February 2025. On a year's date, I say I picked it up at Christmas, so it's been sitting in my stash a month and a bit. Does not seem to have suffered for that. I'm sure that was the flavour before Christmas as well. Tasting notes, cozy, tasty, comfort. Yeah, kinda. That comforting of an old brown leather sofa in a corner of a slightly smoky pub in any side of London, really. With a malt lineup of chocolate, crystal, brown, black, and Munich. I think the black malt there doing a lot of heavy lifting with those kind of roasty, smoky kind of flavours. 4.6%. Yeah, 17. For more, I don't know what kind of butterflies they are, but yeah, I quite like the colour on the butterflies and nice, yeah, kind of simple. Got all the right notes on the can. Yeah, really interesting. Actually, really different to kind of what I expected. To be fair, with those kind of cigar-y kind of notes. Oh, bear with. Yeah, I haven't got that on the bar yet. That would be a very interesting one. I've done the review of that the year before last, so people should know about that. But yeah, pour that into a glass. Won't spoil any surprises. I'll talk about that when it comes on the bar. Though it's in cans, so it's kind of available. But it would make a very interesting mystery beer, and also would be a bit naughty because it's a bit of a surprise. That one that wasn't available, so I didn't send that one to Rob, so he hasn't got that. I just missed out by a few days on that one. The bottle that Phil tried to open would be a good one, just to see if it exploded when opening. Wow, I mean, yeah. It turns out I thought that was probably the last bottle because that was 2 years old. But then I was chatting to a regular customer Sunday, no, Saturday evening, and he said he'd still got a bottle. So I sort of smashed that again. Yeah, it's not the last bottle in existence, and I suspect my boss has got a couple. But yeah, not sure about sending that about across the country. If you tried it, you'd have a tear in your eye. I don't want to waste it. Yeah, we shall see what happens with that one. Because again, in fact, Rob has got, or did have, or did you try that? Did you do that already? The honey beer. Rob has either got or had a can of that because that was coming up, I think. Yes, he did. Sent it before Christmas. And he did the Christmas pudding beer at Christmas. Oh, we're talking about the lemon one because Rob's got the lemon one. So what? It doesn't count. It doesn't count because it's only 5 days out of date. Well, you know, the other two have been bang in date, so it's for months. Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of those coming up. Yeah, I would quite like to see. I would quite like to see Simo do that red one I've got. the Ghost, and yeah, even more so, the one that's coming up. Hopefully, I'm brewing or starting to brew tomorrow. The one that Dave is referring to there is the Tomato Ghost, and hopefully, if it all works out, this week we'll be doing a kimchi sour, which is a even bizarrer one, and still not the weirdest thing pair of O's ever put in a beer. You heard it here first, kinda. If it works out, you never know. This is a mad beer. Absolutely mad with that kind of black dark roasty malts, that kind of that really, really dark coffee, black coffee, no hints of lactose. I don't think there's even any oats in that to make any kind of milkiness. It says here, fly away with this roasty and smooth stout made using a blend of 5 specialty malts for complex yet sessional brew. That is absolutely spot on. It is complex if predominated by that kind of dark roasty note. Yeah, I think if it had oats in it, it would be listed under the malt. So yeah, it gives it that kind of harsh, slightly harsh edge in a really fairly smooth, somewhere approaching decadent, almost impy levels of body without necessarily the strength. But there's that kind of outer, slightly spirity edge to it. It's certainly 4.7, very, very drinkable indeed. I am not sure. So we'll sour it first, I believe, and then I'm not sure. I think actually a batch of kimchi is made up rather than actual just cabbage, and it might even just be conditioned on kimchi. I probably shouldn't have said anything yet. I was too excited by it because we had it a couple of years back and it was interesting, a touch spicy for my liking, but tempered by that kind of other vegetable notes. But yeah, I shall talk more about that. I'll definitely do. I'll try and get a video done and review of that because I didn't the last time because I only had a couple of bottles and I wasn't sure about it, but it was good. Yes, this one would absolutely smash it as an imperial stout. Like I said, I've had a couple of other beers similar to it and bigger beers. Once you start getting bigger and towards impy, you start getting a bit more kind of brown sugar, rum barrel aged notes. It sits so well with this. It's that one you would, I say, sit on an old brown leather sofa by a fire in a pub in the autumn, winter months and just watch the world go by and forget all your troubles because it's just kind of comforting. And that dark, rich, roasty malt note hits just every single time. Yeah, I thought it was actually just going to be a kind of regular run-of-the-mill kind of chocolatey, biscuity, malty, slightly coffee stout. But it's a big decadent kind of number. Yoo-hoo! Hello! Welcome along. Talking of smoking. And yet for that, I just want to keep going back to it, getting those kind of rich, roasty, smoky notes. It is now a little, maybe a touch drying on the back end, but that's that kind of sort of cigar tobacco-y kind of note, sort of smokiness. It's it's an interesting beer for that. As much as I love me stouts, that's kind of, you don't get that very often. It's nice. I'm going to say I can really enjoyed the last of that. Talking about, just as we were now, talking about Friday. Simo, good evening, folks popping in. Hope you're doing all right. Have you had a good week? Getting ready for some interesting beers on Friday night, I believe. Uh-oh, here's trouble. Yeah. Thanks to being crashed out on the sofa. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, I've been crashing through the beers. I'm at the top end of number 3. And it's amazing pressure drop stout. Spinneret, 4.7%. Oh, look at the lacing. Alcohol legs a little bit there. Mad alcohol legs for 4.7. Well, that's the point of it. We'll find out. I say I'm shocked by this stout. It's just got those, yeah, roasty, leathery, smoky, kind of waxy tobacco kind of cigar notes. Really, really nice. Gets a bit light mid palate. Not watery, but sort of thins up a little bit. It's not particularly bulky, but all those flavors just carry through, and you forget about the kind of mid-level body of it. Yeah, a little bit of sticky sweetness later on as well. Don't often go to pressure drop. It's one, again, I predominantly think of them as kind of hop forward craft brewery in trendy East London, so a little bit hype. And again, because they bang a lot of hops into it, they bang a price on it. Can't argue with that. Every now and again, and I've got another pressure drop stout in there, breakfast stout, that I want to quite get around to before that goes nominally out of date. But yeah, for being 5 days nominally out of date, not suffered for wherever it's sat, whether it's sat in a pub. So I say it's sat in my stash for a month and a bit, but yeah. There you go. That's my lineup for London Lite. 3 beers under 5% from London breweries. I can rest easy. No, I shouldn't be too battered for the morning. Whatever I end up doing, if I'm brewing or what, I don't know. But there we go. That's my Tuesday tipple. Hope you've enjoyed my little look at these light-ish beers. I've certainly enjoyed your company and all the comments. Thanks to everybody who's popped in. If you're watching after the event, after the live, do let us know what you've been drinking, what you think about these beers. Put some comments down below. Click the like button because it's free. And as always, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button because it's free at the point of dispense and helps the channel. And thanks to the 40 or 50 people who seem to have joined from last year's. And if that's one of you, do say hello. As always, Mr. Wilson, thanks for all the comments and helpfulness and the good times on Saturday and the reminders of the photos and the banners. Yeah, cheers, Rob. Cheers, one and all. Have a great rest of the week. Probably won't do anything tomorrow. I've got a video to try and edit. If I don't get it out tomorrow night, I might do Thursday instead of a live stream, or I might do a live on Thursday because Lord knows I've got enough beers to keep getting through before those other ones arrive on Friday and we go again next week. And then there's the FA Cup on Saturday. May or may not do a stream Saturday afternoon. Some pre-beers, perhaps. See if you're around. Probably won't do a watch along or anything like that. I'm not sure why I'm watching it yet till I work out the rest of my week. But whatever you do the rest of the week until the next time, I've been a Rasko and Disco beer review from in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar at the Disco Arms. Have a great one, whatever you do. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Let's see if I can get out at the end of this one before I run out of time. Yeah, the last couple Streamyard has been so slow to actually get out of the stream that I'm sitting there looking at it going, oh, is it finished? Oh, yeah, there. Bye. Anyway, yeah, cheers and enjoy the beers. Believe enough to lose control. Until the next one. Cheers.